Let's begin with log base 2 of the cube root of 16 plus log base 8 fourth root of 2 minus log base 3 of 27 times the square root of 3 minus log base 5 of the square root of 5 times the square root of 5. Okay. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the base and we're going to make sure that it's in the lowest term. In other words, we wanted to write it as an base to an exponent. So the first one will be log base 2 of cube root of 16. We can rewrite 8 as 2 cubed. And log 3 is prime, so we're going to leave it alone. And same thing with 5. Alright, so now we want to get the other pieces as a base with the same base as this one. Okay. So the first one, we're going to rewrite cube root of 16 with a new base 2. So 16 is 2 to the 4th, but we're going to be cube rooting it. So the 3 goes on the bottom. Now, the fourth root of 2 is 2 to the 1/4. Okay, 27 is 3 cubed. Square root of 3 is 3 to the 1/2 power, so we'll be multiplying these two. And then for the last one, so it's square root of 5, so that's 5 to the 1/2. And I'm square rooting this 5 twice, so that's really 5 to the 1/4 power. So it's really the fourth root. And now the first term, the 2's are going to cancel, and I'm going to be left with 4/3. Now this 3 can go outside or it can go inside. So we're going to first do the reciprocal. So it's going to be 1/3 and it can go in the exponent here. So it would just be 2 and then 2 to the 1/4 and then the reciprocal of 3, which will be 1/3. And then I have 3 cubed times 3 to the 1/2. That will be 3 to the 7/2 minus log base 5. Now it's 5 to the 1/2 times 5 to the 1/4. That's going to be 5 to the 3/4. Okay, so I have 4/3. And I'm going to multiply the two exponents. So it's 1/4 raised to the 1/3. That's going to be 1/12. And for the second one, so for this one, I see that there's 3 and 3. So those are going to cancel, and I'm just going to be left with the exponent. Same thing with the other log. There's 5's, so I'm going to be left with 3/4. So I'm going to have 4/3 plus, now I have 2 and 2, so logs will cancel, and I'm going to be left with 1/12. Now I'm going to subtract negative 7/2 with 3/4. So I think that's negative 34/8. So let's see, 4/3 plus 1/12. 51/36 minus 34/8. So let's see. If I can rewrite this as 51. So we divide everything by 3. It's 12. It's 17 minus 34 and 8 will be 17/4. So multiply top and bottom by 3, this will be negative 34 over 12, which is negative 17 over 6. So that's my final answer for the first one. Let's now look at a similar problem, but this time the base is going to be fine for the log, but we're going to just change the other number. So it's going to be log base 2 of 1 over 4 root 4 plus log base 3 of cube root of 3 times the square root of 3 over 27 plus log base 4, the cube root of 8 over 128 root 2 minus log base 7 of the square root of 7 over the cube root of 49. And actually, only one of the bases will have to change, the 4. Okay, so all the other bases are primes, so that's good. Now let's work inside. I have 1 over 4 times square root 4. So 1 over 4 is 2 to the negative 2 power. Square root of 4 is 2. So that would be 1/2, which is 2 to the negative first. Plus log base 3. The denominator 27 is 3 cubed. I'm going to cube root the first 3, which will be 3 to the 1/3. And then for the second 3, I'm cube rooting it and square rooting it. So that'd be 1/3 raised to the 1/2. So cube root, square root. And then we have log. 4 will be 2 squared. And I can rewrite this. Cube root of 8 is just 2. 128, see that's 2 to the 7th. Square root of 2 is 2 to the 1/2. And then minus log base 7. I have 7 to the 1/2 at the top. And then the cube root of 49. 49 is 7 squared. Cube root of that, we just put the 3. Okay. And now I'm going to simplify this. Okay, so I have log base 2. So here we have the same base. We're going to add the 2 exponents. So it's be 2 to the negative 3rd plus log base 3. I have 1/3 and then 1/3 times 1/2. So, well, first 1/3 times 1/2 is 1/6. So it'll be 3 to 1/3 times 3 to 1/6 over 3 cubed plus log base 2 squared. And let's see, the top is 1. We're going to subtract that by 1/2 with this one to get 1/2. And then we're going to subtract 1/2 with 7. So we get negative 6.5, which is negative 13 over 2 minus log base 7. And then we're subtracting 1/2 with 2/3. So it'll be negative 1 over 6. And so now we'll keep simplifying. So we have a 2 and a 2. Those are going to cancel. Now we'll be left with negative 3 plus log base 3 of 3, let's see, 1/3 plus 1/6 is 1/2. So it's 1/2 minus 3 is negative 2.5. So this should be negative 5 over 2. Okay, plus, let's see. Okay, this 2 is going to come up in the exponent as 1 over 2. So we can rewrite it as log base 2 of 2 to the negative 13 over 2 raised to the 1/2 minus, now we see there's both 7s, so that's going to cancel. And I'm going to bring down the negative 1/6. Okay. So let's keep going. I have negative 3 plus, there's 2 3's here. That's going to cancel. So the negative 5/2 will come down. Plus log base 2. This is exponent to an exponent. We're going to multiply. That'd be negative 13 over 4. And then plus 1/6. See, negative 3 plus negative 5 over 2 will be negative 11 over 2. And then plus, because we have 2's here, the log cancels, and I have negative 13 over 4 plus 1/6. I'm going to add negative 11 over 2 with negative 13 over 4. I get negative 35 over 4 plus 1/6. Okay, so this one we'll just simplify to negative 103 over 12. And that's the final answer.